Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Friday, December 17, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. Milwaukee Bucks vs New Orleans Pelicans. The Bucks have been in fine form since the return of Jrue Holiday and Chris Middleton into the setup. They have won 5 of their last 7 games to move to 19-11, despite having several players in the safety protocols. With 7 players out, including Giannis Antetokounmpo to the safety protocols, Jrue Holiday stepped up with 26 points and 14 assists to help the Bucks beat the Pacers 114-99. The Pelicans have not had a lot of joy, but Devonte Graham's heave 61 feet away at the buzzer provided some spark as the Pels beat the Thunder 113-110. The Pelicans are now 9-21 for the season. Our first betting advice is to pick Milwaukee Bucks -2. New Orleans is 27th in points per game at 104.0 and 24th in points allowed per contest at 109.9. They are 26th in field goal percentage, 43.4%, and 22nd in three-point shooting, 33.9%. The team is 7th in free throw shooting at 79.7%. The Pelicans have also been outstanding on the glass, 4th in offensive rebounds, 12.3, and 5th in total rebounds per game, 46.4. Milwaukee is averaging 110.6 points per game, 9th overall, and they are 14th in points allowed per game at 106.6. The Bucks are shooting 45.5% from the field, 16th overall, and they are 7th in three-point shooting at 36.3%. Milwaukee is 2nd in defensive rebounds, 36.7, and in total rebounds per game, 47.3. Our second betting advice is to pick over 216. San Antonio Spurs vs Utah Jazz. Leading their scoring output in the game was shooting guard Bryn Forbes, 7.9 ppg, who scored 25 points in the game and was one of 3 players to score more than 18 points. The defense needs to step up more consistently as they are allowing 46.3% of shots to fall against them and are giving up 109.5 ppg, which is 23rd in the NBA. The defense needs to step up if they want to pull off the upset. Leading their scoring output in the game was Mitchell, 24.8 ppg, who scored 19 points in the game and was one of 4 players that finished to score at least 20 points. The defense needs to step up more consistently as they are allowing 44.2% of shots to fall against them and are giving up 104.1 ppg, which is 4th in the league. The Jazz have to continue stepping up defensively to continue their winning streak. Our first betting advice is to pick Utah Jazz, -12. The Jazz had to love what they saw from the Spurs in their recent outing with the Charlotte Hornets. They look like a team in over their head in their own home building. Imagine what playing at Vivint Arena will be like. Donovan Mitchell is one of the best guards in the league, and Rudy Gobert just might be the biggest headache on the planet to deal with in the front court. Not even Kevin Costner can top that man's bodyguard skills when it comes to serving as a rim enforcer. Center Jakob Poeltl has been good for San Antonio, but he isn't on this level. No, San Antonio isn't making a lot of mistakes, but they aren't doing enough of anything, either. The defense is wildly inconsistent, and the young roster doesn't have a standout offensive star. Dejounte Murray is emerging, and Keldon Johnson looks promising. But it hasn't been enough for a Spurs team averaging only 102.4 points per game on the road. Quite frankly, there's a lot for them to be concerned about in a road battle with a #1 ranked scoring offense in the league. Our second betting advice is to pick over 223.5. Charlotte Hornets vs Portland Trail Blazers. Charlotte is the polar opposite on defense compared to its offense, as the Hornets are allowing an average of 116.4 points per game, which is 30th in the NBA. Opponents are shooting 47.1% overall, which is 27th, and 35.4% from three-point territory, which is 18th. Charlotte is being out-rebounded each game as the Hornets are allowing an average of 47.5 rebounds per game and averaging only 43.5. The king of the boards is Ball with an average of 7.7 rebounds per game, and Ball is also the leader in steals with an average of 1.9 per contest. PJ Washington is the SWAT master for Charlotte with an average of 1.2 blocks per game. Portland is mired in a losing streak of 7 consecutive games after falling to the Memphis Grizzlies 113-103 on Wednesday. Portland is 11-18 and 10 games behind first-place Utah in the Northwest Division. The Trailblazers are 4th in the division and only 2 games ahead of last-place Oklahoma City. In Wednesday's loss to Memphis, Portland shot just 37.8% and the leading scorer was Norman Powell with 25 points. Portland was out-rebounded 53-38 by the Grizzlies. Portland will play without CJ McCollum and Cody Zeller, while Tony Snell and Greg Brown III are questionable. Our first betting advice is to pick the Blazers at -1. The Portland Trailblazers have lost another game. This time around, they succumbed to a 113-103 home loss to the Memphis Grizzlies, and for the 3rd consecutive time and 6th in 7 games, the Blazers failed to cover. After failing to cover a +1.5 spread in this tilt, the Blazers dropped to a 10-19 Austrian shillings record. Portland entered the final 12 minutes with a lead as they came back from a 16-point deficit, but it seemed that the Blazers lost strength and energy late as the Grizzlies cruised to a 10-point victory. The Blazers weren't good from the floor, 37.8%, while the hosts lost a rebounding battle, 38-53. Norman Powell led the Blazers with 25 points, 6 rebounds, team-high 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Anthony Simons scored 22 points, Damian Lillard had 21 points, 5 boards, and 4 dimes, while Jusuf Nurkic posted a double-double of 16 points and team-high 12 rebounds, along with 2 steals. Our second betting advice is to pick over. Memphis Grizzlies vs Sacramento Kings. The Memphis Grizzlies have been depending on the production of power forward Jaren Jackson Jr. as he is averaging 16.4 points, 5.3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1.9 blocks, and 0.9 steals in 27.1 minutes. He has been shooting relatively well as he is shooting 42.8% from the floor, 34.3% from the three-point line, and 83.5% from the free throw line. In his last game against Portland, Jackson Jr. finished with just 9 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 blocks in 24 minutes. The Sacramento Kings are struggling defensively as they are giving up 114 points per game, which is 29th in the NBA. In the previous game against the Washington Wizards, they allowed 105 points on 42 of 89, 47.2% throughout the game, 5 of 24, 20.8% from distance, and 21 trips to the charity stripe. Our first betting advice is to pick the Grizzlies at -4. The Sacramento Kings finally snapped a 3-game losing streak with a 119-105 home victory over the struggling Washington Wizards. Following 3 consecutive games in which they didn't cover, the Kings managed to cover a +2 spread against the Wizards. Now, they have a 13-16 Austrian shillings record. Just like the Grizzlies did in Portland, the Kings displayed a strong performance in the 4th quarter to beat Washington. They scored 35 and allowed 16 points and came back from an 11-point deficit to secure the win. Sacramento shot well over 50.0% from the floor, 54.9%, while the Kings limited the visitors to 20.8% from the perimeter. Desmond Bane led the Grizzlies with 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Dillon Brooks followed him with 22 points, 7 boards, and game-high 6 dishes, while Kyle Anderson and Steven Adams recorded a double-double apiece. Anderson had 13 points and 11 rebounds, along with game-high 3 thefts and 2 blocks, while Adams posted 10 points and game-high 14 rebounds, along with 3 steals. Ja Morant is still out indefinitely with a knee injury, while Brandon Clark, knee, is questionable to play on Friday. The Grizzlies have the 7th offense in the NBA that is scoring 111.1 points per game, while their defense is 19th in the league as it allows 109.0 points to the rivals. Our second betting advice is to pick under 225.5.